Hello everyone and welcome back to another video. Today we will be talking about the possibility that Joe Biden is replaced on the Democratic ticket for president in 2024. So if you haven't noticed already, Joe Biden is doing very poorly in this election by all indicators. We see his approval rating hit his all-time lowest a few days ago. And just when you look at the polling, it just looks awful for him. I mean, he's losing in virtually every poll, and even in the polls that he's ahead nationwide, it's only by 1% here. And when in this day in history, when, on June 22nd in 2020, Joe Biden was ahead by 9.8. So he's doing significantly worse this time around than he was in 2020, and Donald Trump is heavily favored to win. So you might have seen, many people publicized the possibility that the Democrats could replace Biden despite the primaries and everything already happening. And that is because the Democratic National Convention, the DNC, has not occurred yet. That is what officially picks the president. We don't officially have a Democratic nominee or Republican nominee before the Democratic and Republican National Conventions. They are simply known as presumptive nominees because, after their primary victories and, they have enough delegates according to the primaries, based off of their the delegate allocation from the primaries, it appears that they will be the nominee. But really, the Democratic and Republican parties are, private organizations. They are not part of the U.S. government. And they can put whoever they want up as their nominee come the time of the primary. So Joe Biden is not, certified or anything. He is not the nominee yet. He is simply not. And it is definitely a possibility, it seems like more than ever, that they do replace Biden because of his weakness as a candidate. Again, looking at these numbers here, the Democrats are scared. They really are. They are, we have had report after report from, insiders from the Biden campaign saying that they are really scared that Joe Biden does not win this election. Because, for the Democratic Party, there is so much at risk here when they could be avoiding all of this risk with, a simple switch out at the convention. So it's something that is being weighed heavily by these Democrats. It's sure, switching out a candidate, switching out Biden, admits that that their president that they support, is not favorable towards everyone. Whatever. It's a sign of against party unity. It shows that they don't have unity as a party. This could mean a bunch of negative things for the Democrats. But when you think about it, for the Democratic Party, many Democrats are weighing right now, are all of those negatives, those small negatives, would it be worth it to have a better candidate as the nominee? Because, again, when you look at these numbers, no other Democrat, I shouldn't say no, but virtually no other Democrat would possibly have, this bad of numbers. Joe Biden is doing 11 to almost 12% worse in 2024 nationwide than he did in 2020. He was up by 9.8% on June 22nd in 2020. Today, June 22nd, 2024, Donald Trump is ahead in the nationwide polls by 1.9%. In battleground state poll after battleground state poll, Joe Biden is down. On average, Trump leads in Nevada. He leads in Arizona. He leads in Georgia, Wisconsin, Michigan, Pennsylvania. All of those were Biden states in 2020. All of those would be flips. That would be an easy cruise to victory for Donald Trump. Additionally, some aggregates, which means some averages of polls, actually have Donald Trump ahead in the very Democratic states of Minnesota and Virginia. Donald Trump is, looking at these numbers, looking at the polling, Donald Trump is in such a good position right now, and even though there are some slight downsides of switching out Biden at the convention for a stronger Democratic nominee, a disingenuous sign, after all of these Democrats say, Joe Biden is the best president of our lifetimes, etc., and then switch him out, it's just an admission that you were lying, that you were being disingenuous or whatever. So the Republicans could absolutely use that against them, and, American voters might have that in mind. But these numbers make it so that it really becomes worth it for the Democrats, despite those negatives for this process of switching out Biden for someone else. It is worth it because of how poorly he is doing. And just looking at, we have a field of candidates here. We really do. The Democratic Party is really a strong party when you look at their politicians. And this goes for the Republican Party as well. It has been said the first candidate to retire, their 80 or almost 80-year-old nominee, will win the election. That has been said over and over and over because it is so true that Joe Biden is just about almost the worst possible candidate the Democrats could put up, and Donald Trump is just about the worst possible Republican, or the worst possible candidate the Republicans could put up. They are both incredibly weak candidates, and that is why you see this dissatisfaction with this two-party system, with this election, with these two candidates. That's why you see a rise of third-party candidates like RFK Jr., Cornel West, Jill Stein, among others. It's because people hate these two candidates. They are two incredibly weak candidates. So when, I'm just looking at the draft article here for the 2028 presidential election, and, in 2028, they were just looking at the field of possible candidates. It is so strong. I mean, Democratic and Republican candidates alike across the nation can be strong candidates. The parties can easily put up very strong electoral nominees. But in this election and last election, for whatever reason, they have decided to put up, some of the two weakest candidates in both parties. Now, Donald Trump has the strong support of the Republican Party, but Joe Biden, on the other hand, it actually does seem like it is a possibility because he is doing much worse than Donald Trump in the election. So, I mean, looking at these these are just some examples of Democrats that could run for president in the future. And in 2024, all of these people qualify too. I mean, someone like Josh Shapiro, or Wes Moore, or even someone like Amy Klobuchar or Roy Cooper, absolutely, or Andy Beshear, or even Cory Booker. There are so many people that would be incredibly strong candidates, not to mention Gretchen Whitmer. She would be an absolute electoral beast. Many of these people would landslide Trump. Remember, Donald Trump is not a strong candidate. He has run. He has got incredibly lucky with the people that the Democrats, with the people that the Democrats put up as their nominees. Hillary Clinton and Joe Biden are some of the worst possible candidates ever. If the Democrats, and this goes vice versa for the Republicans, if they put up someone normal like Andy Beshear or Gretchen Whitmer for the Democrats, or going for the Republican side, Nikki Haley or Tim Scott or whoever it may be, the normal person would crush the other. Because on one hand, you've got Donald Trump charged with convicted on 34 counts of falsifying business records. He is a convicted felon, charged with sexual assault. He should be incredibly easy to beat, and he is. The only problem is, the other guy is 81 years old, gaffe after gaffe after gaffe, not the vast majority, but whatever. Many people, I'll say, millions of people, tens of millions of people, think he has dementia. They are two divisive candidates who can't win over people from the other side. And again, they are just such weak nominees. But people like Andy Beshear, I mean, the Democrats have so many people who they could put up and would absolutely crush Trump. And, and the vast majority of these guys would beat Trump, maybe not landslide him, but would beat him. Very few would lose to Trump. Kamala Harris would. Maybe AOC would. Maybe, there's really not many. Maybe John Fetterman would. Jamal Bowman, of course, would. There are really not many who would lose to Trump, but the Democrats are going so far with one of the very few that could actually lose to Trump, and this is why they are thinking about replacing him on the ticket. Now, that really didn't appear that it could come to fruition, especially after the State of the Union. Because, whatever, there wasn't anything that could spark that replacement on the ticket. However, the announcement of the presidential debate really did change all of that because, good for the Democrats. It is happening. The debate is happening on June 27th, in just 5 days. And really, if Joe Biden gets crushed, it's before the DNC. So if Joe Biden does get crushed, if it appears that he is no match for Trump and Trump's polls skyrocket after this, then the debate could be the event where Democrats are like, okay, we don't have a chance. Joe Biden is a very weak candidate. We have to switch him out at all costs in order to beat Donald Trump. So the debate is really the event that could make this replacement on the ticket come to fruition. So, interesting. That is an interesting possible occurrence that really could happen at the DNC. The DNC is definitely something to watch. I'm excited to see if there are any reports about something like this happening. So thank you all for watching this video. I really hope you all enjoyed. If you did, make sure to subscribe. It helps out a lot. Again, thank you all for watching, and I will see you all next time.